The transport ship's emergency beacon had been silent for 3 days when Elena first noticed the changes in her body. She pressed her palm against the cool metal wall of the makeshift shelter, watching the twin suns cast long shadows across. The endless dunes of Kepler 442c, the planet's crimson sand, stretched to the horizon, broken only by the twisted wreckage of their crashed vessel. "The water recycler is functioning at 60% capacity," announced Cale, emerging from the depths of their salvaged sanctuary. His tall, lean frame moved with practiced efficiency, despite the circumstances. The alien skin held a subtle, blue-green tint that seemed to shift with the planet's strange light, and his large, dark eyes reflected an intelligence that had kept them both alive these past weeks. Elena nodded, her hand instinctively moving to her abdomen. The nausea that had plagued her for days couldn't be explained by their limited rations or the recycled air. She had been the chief medical officer aboard the diplomatic vessel that brought Cale and his delegation to the peace summit on Centauri. Prime, now stranded together on this barren world, she faced a reality that defied every medical protocol she had ever studied. "Elena, you appear unwell," Cale observed, his voice carrying the melodic undertones of his native language. During their time together, she had learned that his species, the Velani, possessed an extraordinary sensitivity to biological changes. "Your thermal signature has altered, and your biochemical emissions suggest significant physiological stress." She turned to face him, studying the gentle concern in his alien features. The Velani had been humanity's first contact with sentient alien life, and their diplomatic mission had been meant to forge a lasting alliance between their species. Instead, a mechanical failure had left them the sole survivors of a crash that claimed 18 lives. "I think I know what's happening to me," she said quietly, her scientific mind struggling to process the impossibility of her situation. "But it shouldn't be possible. Our species are biologically incompatible." Cale approached slowly, his movements deliberate and respectful. The Velani culture valued personal space and consent above all else, something Elena had come to appreciate during their isolation. "The Velani have ancient records of such occurrences," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "When two species share extended proximity under extreme stress, sometimes the impossible becomes inevitable." Elena's breath caught in her throat. She had read the classified xenobiology reports that suggested theoretical genetic compatibility between humans and Velani, but they had been dismissed as speculative fiction. "You're saying this has happened before?" "Rarely," Cale admitted, settling onto a piece of salvaged seating. "The offspring of such unions are spoken of in our oldest texts. They are called the Bridgers, beings who carry the strength of both worlds within them." The weight of his words settled over her like the planet's oppressive heat. Elena sank to the floor, her hands trembling as she considered the implications. A child born of two species, on a world where survival itself was a daily struggle. "I should be terrified," she said, surprising herself with the steadiness of her voice. "But somehow, I'm not." Cale's expression softened, and he extended his hand in the Velani gesture of comfort. "The child will be extraordinary, Elena. They will possess the analytical mind of humanity and the intuitive wisdom of the Velani. They will be a bridge between our peoples." Over the following weeks, as Elena's condition progressed, their relationship deepened beyond mere survival partnership. Cale shared stories of his homeworld, describing vast crystal cities that sang in harmony with the wind, while Elena told them of Earth's oceans and the feeling of rain on skin. They worked together to expand their shelter, preparing for the arrival of their child. The pregnancy proceeded unlike anything in Elena's medical training. The fetus developed rapidly, and she found herself experiencing heightened senses and an uncanny ability to predict the planet's weather patterns. Cale explained that these were gifts from the Velani heritage, abilities that would serve their child well in any environment. When the rescue ship finally appeared on the horizon, Elena felt a mix of relief and apprehension. The vessel bore the markings of both human and Villani fleets, a joint rescue operation that had taken months to organize. As the ship landed, kicking up clouds of red dust, Elena realized that their story was about to become the foundation of a new chapter in interspecies relations. The child would be born not just as a symbol of survival, but as living proof that the barriers between species could be transcended. In the harsh crucible of Kepler 442c, humanity and the Vallani had created something unprecedented, something that would forever change the course of galactic civilization. As Elena and Kale prepared to leave the planet that had been their prison and their sanctuary, she placed her hand on her growing belly and smiled. Their child would inherit a universe of infinite possibilities, a bridge between worlds that had once seemed impossibly distant. The desert planet had taken much from them, but it had also given them something miraculous in return.